Hi all, Rick today here with a Mass Effect video because I think now is the perfect time for a video on a 13-year-old franchise. Honestly though, this is a video I've been meaning to get around to for ages, and that is the corporations and companies present in Mass Effect. First off, this is not a list of every fictional company in the lore, as there are countless from not only humanity but the dozen or so other main races of the Mass Effect universe. This list looks at the big ones that crop up during the course of the game, from Commander Shepard's, the player's, experiences as a soldier, and Citadel's Spectre. Therefore, many of these companies are tied to the production of military equipment or associated areas, but not all, and I won't be looking into the smaller businesses such as individual stores, no matter if they are my favourite on the Citadel. So, for the time being, let's take a look at those created by humanity's own. Heen Kadar is the first company you as a player meet. They are the manufacturers of much of the Human System Alliance's military gear. They provide the beginning loadout for Commander Shepard and the other human members of the team, with a focus on reliability and sturdiness over any sort of technological edge. The high-end gear is reserved for the Shadowworks subdivision. Despite the human-centric organisation, they do create gear for the other species with the same utilitarian focus. Casa Fabrications is another company with strong ties to the military, as they produce numerous arms and armours of very high quality. Because of this, they sell to various organisations, including the Human Systems Alliance, although their non-combative devices are generally considered subpar. Aldrin Labs, based on the moon and named after a dude who went there one time, manufacture basic armour, omnitools and biotic amps. They do in fact manufacture armour to Citadel security standards, and many of the standard Agent or Hydra armours seen are in fact produced by Aldrin Labs. Ariake Technologies create electronic equipment, including many of the game's omnitools, as well as high-tech armour designed to optimise gadgets and the like. On top of hardware, they produce software packets for a variety of mundane purposes, such as data management. Their name suggests a Japanese origin, and this is reflected in several of their purchasable arms and armour: the Katana shotgun, the Raiko pistols, and the Naginata snipers. Rosenkov Materials is a Russian-based armour manufacturer that is making good grounds in the interstellar community. The one iconic weapon they make is the M97 Viper Sniper. Conatrix Industries was a biotic implant specialist that worked closely with the Alliance's BART program to pioneer human manipulators of dark energy. The company folded shortly after the termination of the Biotic Acclimation and Temperance training program, and there were rumours that they had been deliberately exposing human colonies to dangerous element zero contamination for the slim chance to create more biotic candidates. Mars Gene is a genetics company with strong ties to the military. It's this company, based on Mars, who'da thunk, that provides the genetic augmentation to human soldiers when they enter the military. With Mars being the Roman god of war, it seems fitting that this would be the location of such an organisation. The Certa Foundation is a rather large and human-founded medical organisation that operates a non-profit model. Like several others already mentioned, it includes branches for genetic research, and although they do not produce any weaponry, their Certa Armory has created medical modifications for armour such as automated trauma kits and Medigel dispensers. The company was attacked by biotic fanatics in 2183 and almost went bankrupt. However, Asari intervention provided them a lifeline by supplying them with spoils from a platinum mine, which they were then able to sell on, funding future research, sharing the results with the galactic community. The Home Group is a big player in Mass Effect Andromeda's prequel book Initiation, and a creator of cybernetics and similar technologies. They, however, engaged in corporate espionage and theft, attempting to steal the SAM artificial intelligence prototype, and they fund experimental divisions of the System Alliance's military. They are based on their own station called Home Away. The next two organisations are not specifically human-founded, as they operate beyond the scope of Earth and associated worlds, but they do have strong ties to them. Exogeny Corp is an interstellar company that provides colonisation support and contracts. It manages resource rights and funds colonisation attempts on such worlds as Feros. However, it too was involved in some very shady business. In 2183, a Turian creeper was discovered, and its mental abilities explored as a potential way to control people, using the Exogeny-funded colony of Zoo's Hope as a testbed. Exogeny also undertakes terraforming endeavours, such as hydrating the surface of Trebin and playing cartographer to other potential colonisation sites. Binary Helix is a genetic research company that has rather questionable connections. See my video on Cerberus for more information, as well as several other companies allied with Cerberus. And can I just say, dumb logo choice for a company trying to maintain its legitimate facade. Despite this, it's unknown if Binary Helix is a human-founded institute, as it has investors from the Asari matriarchy, and its work didn't focus on solely human genetics. They had bases in labs all across the Human Systems Alliance, from the moon Europa to Peak 15 Novaria. It was here that their most infamous incident occurred, with the discovery of Arachni Queen and an attempt to harness the insectoid race as soldiers. It backfired. Among these, there is the corporate watchdog known as Balance, headed by Dr. Trent Leeds, which aimed to keep an eye on corporate deals and bring illicit activities or underhanded play to light before various Citadel agencies. Aside from the Earthlings, the other species in the galaxy have been at the intergalactic commerce business for much longer, and as such have a number of their own organisations too. However, as the games have you play as a human, generally these are encountered far less, but here are some of these corporations, beginning with the Asari. Armali Council is a collection of Asari manufacturing guilds that have a reputation for creating some of the highest quality fine bioamps and omnitools, but they have a selective client list. The name suggests it's based on the city of Armali on Thessia, the Asari homeworld. The Ceres Council, however, are the creators of the most powerful biotic amp on the market, and, like Armali, have a selective client list. Purchasers of their equipment have to undergo Ceres Council overseen testing before they can be vetted for permission to purchase. They are also not focused on profit, and this, coupled with their selectivity, makes their products very difficult to come by. They also offer their testing and training facilities to their clientele through membership programs. Barrier Frontiers is an Asari survey, mapping and colonisation company. They make a lot of their trade in the supply of star charts from their missions. This sort of area of trade brings them into contact with many colonists and frontiersmen of numerous species, so the company has contracts with several worlds, as well as information pertaining to the location of many inhabitants of note. Asari colonisation itself is overseen by several organisations, such as the Turian Corporation. Armax Arsenal is the primary Turian supplier of high-end military gear. The equipment follows standard collapsible Citadel designs, and they also manufacture military vehicles. They also run the competitive simulated combat arena, from where participants can take part in televised virtual skirmishes against a variety of opponents. Haliat Armory is another Turian weapons manufacturer, and as expected by such a militant species, they have permission from the Turian hierarchy to sell surplus on the galactic market. The Haljuice Corporations are a collection of Solarian clan-based businesses that set their minds to developing the specialised technology needed to mine a helium-3 rich gas giant. Elkos Combine is one of the bigger Volus manufacturers of Citadel standard arms and gear. They are based out of the Terminus systems and aim to produce cost-effective varieties of high-end gear. They create armour for a variety of races, not just the Volus, and are producers of the iconic M8 Avenger, a common favourite among most private security firms and mercenaries. Dartan Manufacturing is a Batarian computer manufacturer based on Kamala, but most of the Batarian weaponry and gear comes from their state arms. This is a nationalised military-run company which has no qualms in creating chemical, biological and nuclear weapons. Finally, I want to mention a couple of others which are more vague in their origins but are either major players in missions or frequently encountered. Synthetic Insights manufacture various developments in software and are one of only 4 council-approved companies that can experiment with artificial intelligence. Many of their products are various virtual intelligences and high-end devices. However, the recent events of Mass Effect, such as the Geth attack, have damaged their reputation as the subject matter of AI and its consequences hits close to home. Devlon Industries create armour and protective gear against extreme environments. Very common if you are in the habit of dropping on every other world you come across, regardless of habitability. For some reason I associate them with the Elcor, but I honestly have no idea where I got that from. Maybe it's the logo, because I can't remember any actual connection. They are also the primary producers of some of the standardised Citadel weaponry, such as the M92 Mantis Sniper. I'll give a brief mention to Ilanus Risk Control Services, as this Turian company did produce its own arms and equipment, including the Predator M3 pistol and the M15 Vindicator rifle. However, it was first and foremost a Turian private security firm. Then there are the Cerberus Skunk Works, which create Cerberus's own armoury, and likewise you can obtain gear from the Geth armoury, which are likely salvaged Geth equipment but neither of these were official businesses, as it were. This list is far from complete, as there are numerous other businesses, corporations, security and holdings groups mentioned in ambient dialogue to help construct a thriving, churning universe in which to build the game's narrative. Not to mention all the smaller storefronts that import and sell a variety of wares, from clothing to games. And of course there's the numerous businesses that include journalism, cruises and, well, everything from many different planets. But these are the major players that you'll encounter in the games, which in turn are managed by watchdog groups who report to various authorities. However, as a prior Cerberus video shows, and many missions in the game, subterfuge, sabotage and blackmail are not just relegated to the political arena, and many of these organisations have had shady dealings to get where they are and stay there. Thanks for watching this video on some of the corporations of Mass Effect. It's been a while since I've talked on this topic, but waiting for a timely opportunity to talk about Mass Effect is like watching an Elcor run a marathon. Thanks again for watching. I've been Rick, and this is my favourite store on the